Good morning, students. Today we will discuss about the designing of a counter, how we can design a counter. So before starting the designing of a counter, first of all we will see about the how we can design a counter and what is the basic requirement of designing a counter. So first of all we will see that counter is basically a sequential circuit, and if we are talking about the sequential logic circuits, so that is based on the combinational logic circuits and memory elements that we have to see. And again, if we are talking about the bistable devices, monostable devices, so we have to see in this that our sequential logic circuits is basically divided into two parts, asynchronous and synchronous. So that is a very essential part of our counter, because counter is also asynchronous counters and synchronous counters. So before starting the counter we will discuss about the what about the synchronous and what is the basic definition of asynchronous. So if we are talking about the asynchronous system, so as we have to seen already that asynchronous system output change at any time. There is not any specific time for change in output. But if we are talking about the synchronous, so that is output change only at a specific time. So if we are talking about the specific time means there is a clock signals, and that clock signals we can also divide our counters or also divide our clock signals into three parts. Suppose there is a positive triggering edge, negative triggering edge, positive clock pulse or negative clock pulse. So there are four types of clock signals or triggering we can apply in our synchronous type of system. So we will discuss this type of ace triggering in again. Suppose here we have to also explain you the diagram of triggering. You can see in this diagram. So if we are talking about the asynchronous means there is no clock pulses and their output can be changed anytime. So according to this, we have to again switch the basically shift register. So what about the shift register and what is the process to entering the any type of digital information into the flip flop? So before starting it, we have to discuss about the shift register, and after then we will see how we can design a counter. So shift register is also a sequential logic circuit, and that can used only for a storage purpose. Okay. So in flip flop, we there is also a storage and how their data can be shifted from one flip flop to another. So same thing, shift registers process of working of shift register is same thing reflected in our counter. So we will discuss first of all shift registers. So storage or transfer of data. So how we can store our data or how we can transfer our data in a shift register. And this is the sequential device. It loads the data present on inputs and moves or shift it to the output any or every clock pulse. So hence again we will see there is basic element, that is we can also design your shift registers by using a T flip flop, D flip flop. So that is based on all things. First of all, we will see about the serial in, serial out. So that is basically a 4-bit. Okay, so this is a 4-bit shift registers. So how we can define the 4-bit? So basically 4-bit is based on the 4 flip flop. Okay. So because we have to already seen that one flip flop will store the 1 bit at a time. So if you want to store the 4-bit at a time, so you have a 4 flip flops, and this is the basically by combining effect of these 4 flip flops, we can make it as a shift registers. So there are different phenomena. Suppose you want to enter your data serially, so that is called as a serial in data. After then, your data will be transferred from one bit to another bit serially, yeah, one flip flop to another flip flop serially. So this is also called as a basically serial data output. And again another thing is happens here, what will happens here, that is based on the your data will be either come out or at the output side come serially, or it will exit to the parallel. So there is two options, data will be enter serially and it will exit either serial or parallel. Same thing is here, data can be exit serially, but it can be enter either serially or it can be exit to the parallel part. So this is the different process, and according to that we will define our shift registers into different parts. So first of all, that is the serial in, serial out. So that is called as a one type of shift registers. Serial in, parallel out, so that is another type of shift register. So according to shifting of movement of our data, we can divide our shift registers into four parts. So again, that is parallel in, parallel out. So parallel data is loaded into the registers. Parallel in, parallel out, so you are also loaded parallelly, and you are also transferred our data to the parallelly at the same clock pulse. So this is also a pattern in which our shift registers work out. Now this is the method how serial in, serial out, parallel out, sorry. So that is basically serial in, so your data are entered serially, and you will take your data parallel at a time in same clock pulse. All data can be taken as a output parallel format. So that is a Q, A, B, C, D. So there are four data that is we have to taken parallelly, and there is a clock pulses we have to apply to the all flip flops, and data will be serial entered. So in every clock pulse, your data will move into the one flip flop forward. So you can also see here. So that is a basic movement. Initially, all flip flops are at the zero conditions. First clock pulse, your first bit will be entered to the QA. After then, when your second clock pulse comes, that data will be shifted to another. Third clock pulse, your second in third clock pulse, your data will be entered, and your second flip flop data will be shifted to the third flip flop, and so on. This will exit. Now when you have to take it parallelly, so all the data are taken at the same time. So this is your clock pulses. You have to given your input data 1. When your clock pulse, there is a rising edge, because your flip flop is a positive edge triggered. So your QA will be the high, and it will be high till second rising edge will not exit in our clock pulse. So as second rising edge comes, and your data will be QB, so it will be high. After then, at third clock pulse, your data of third, it will be shifted to the third, and after that it will be shifted to the fourth. So this is a sequence at which every clock pulse your data bit will be shifted to the another flip flop. So this is a basically process key. You can enter your data serially. So and you can, your data will be either exit serially, or your data will be exit to the parallel format. So this is again, we can see here, your data will be enter serially, but your data will be exit to the serially. So both are in serial. So there is another type of our shift registers. This is a 4-bit serial in, serial out shift register. So you can your data will be entered one by one from this side, and in every clock pulse it will shifted to the next flip flop, and after then it will exit to the serial output manner. So this is another type of shift registers. So you can see here, with the help of our diagram, we can also see parallel into serial out. Means your exit will be serially, but you have to upload your data at a time, same clock pulse, at the fourth flip flop. So you can see again, this is the P0, P, PB and PA. These are the four input signals which you have to upload it in this flip flops, and this is the multiplexer. You can show here. So these will be given to your input side, and after that, see this way, your data will be uploaded parallelly, and it will be exit to the serially. So one by one it will be shifted to the next state. So this is the method. Now last one is parallel in, parallel out. So there is a method. You can load your data parallelly. There is no any type of serial communication. So there is a, you have to take the data parallelly. So there is no multiplexer with devices in between this, because at that multiplexer devices, what will happen? You have to also shifted your data serially. So that is used for that particular purpose, since your data will be uploaded parallelly and also exited parallel. So there is this type of configuration and are used here. You can upload your data parallelly. So these are the different methods in which our shift register will act and basically our shift register will act as a temporary storage devices, means for time duration or very short duration you can store your data in your shift registers. So that is basically it. And one clock pulse loads and unloads the registers. If you are working on the parallel input and parallel output, so you have to require only one clock pulse for loading and unloading the register. Now we will switch to the counters. What are the counters? So counter is also a sequential circuit, and here is a count which count through a specific state sequence. So there is a particular sequence will be followed in this method so that we can count our decimal number. So that, and our counter can be either count upward or it can also count the downward. Counting is also can be achieved with help of counter. So now we will see that how we can design a counter. So first of all there is a classification of our counter. So first one is the basically, as we have to see, synchronous counter. Means if we are talking about the synchronous counter, so first thing is that as we have to see in sequential circuit, key output will change only a particular specified time period. Means not all the time or any time your output will be changed. There may be a certain fixed time period in which your output can be changed. Okay. So there is a clock signals, means you have to provide the clock signals in your synchronous. But how you can provide these clock signals to all the flip flop? So first one is the clock is directly connected to the flip flop clock inputs. Okay, and logic is used to implement the desired state sequencing. So we will see in our diagram. If we are talking about the ripple counter, so you can see here a basic description. How we can differentiate between asynchronous counter and synchronous counter. So if you are talking about the ripple counter, so that is basically based on, so clock connected to the flip flop clock input on the LSB bit flip flop for all other. So if you are talking about the asynchronous, means you have not given all the flip flop at the same time clock pulses. Means what will happens in asynchronous type of counters, your first clock pulse will be connected to the first flip flop, and output of first flip flop is connected to the clock pulse of your second flip flop. Then output of second flip flop is connected to the clock pulse of your third flip flop. So this is the pattern through which our counters will work out. So for all other bits, a flip flop output is connected to the clock input, and this way circuit is. So this is not truly synchronous because you are not giving your output all the time. So we can see, so this type of uh, clocking is called as a asynchronous, and output change is delayed more each bit towards the MSB. So how you can move in towards the MSB, delay will be increased. So that is basically asynchronous. So we will see in our diagram. You can see this way how you have to give in. This is the asynchronous or ripple counter. First flip flop will, your clock pulse is given to the directly to the clock signals, and now what will, and you have to given the one. So that is the basically T type flip flop. So you can design your counter either using the T type flip flop or JK flip flop. So what type of flip flops you are using, it doesn't matter. Basically counter is designed, you can use any type of flip flop for according to your applications. So first of all, the clocking signal is very affected. You have all both flip flops are not clocked at the same time. So this type of flip flop is a synchronous flip flop. So in next diagram, we will see the basic working. You can see here again, there is a JK flip flop. So you can design your counter either by using the T flip flop or by using the JK flip flop. So this is the very high signals you have to. So here, these are the clock signals. You can see it. So now you can see what will happen and how it will work out. If we are talking about the asynchronous counter, so how it will work out. So we will see at initial, if your counter is a positive age triggering, means when your positive age triggering or your counter may be negative age triggering. So suppose in this time we have designed such type of counter that it is the negative age triggering. So when your first clock pulse negative age occurred, okay, negative age triggering means when your clock pulses will be moving from 1 to 0. So that state, that falling stage is called as a negative edge triggering. And in this duration, your flip flop first flip flop will be working, just start working, and output will be whatever input you have to give on your input side, that particular instant negative edge triggering, that will be reflected to the output stage. So this is when there is a falling edge, your first flip flop output will be high, and it will be high till another negative edge triggering will not receive. And when your second flip flop negative edge triggering will occur, now at that particular stage, your first flip flop output is clocked to the second flip flop, means again that will be the trigger to the next flip flop. And whatever inputs you have to given, you have to given the all the flip flop same input high. So at that particular stage, your second flip flop will be activate, and it will be goes to the high one, and it will be high till your second first jo flip flop will be again not received by the negative edge triggering. So it will be high. Same thing is continuous go. So what will happen? What we have to go at initial level, both are 0 0. When our first negative clock pulse existing, so your first flip flop will be set, but second will be still reset. So your output will be 1 0. Now third condition again, what will happen in third, when your second negative edge triggering is appeared, so flip flop will toggle again, and now what will happen here? Your second flip flop will be executed, and it will indicate the one, but at the same time your first flip flop will be at the reset, and it will be the 0. So there may be 0 1. And after then fourth, when fourth clock pulse exists, when the third negative clock pulse condition 4, so there again first flip flop will be toggle again, and it will again change from 0 to 1. And both the cases, both the flip flops will be at present 1 and 1. So this is the condition 0 0 1 0 0 1 and 1 1. So these are the four states which we can receive by use of the asynchronous flip flop. And if we are moving towards the fifth clock pulse, both the flip flops will be reset. So that is a basically tabular tree in which we have to given initially both flip flops are 0, after then 0 1 1 0 1 1 and 0 0. So this is a basic sequence which followed in our designing counters. We are talking about the synchronous counter. So when we are talking about the synchronous, so as in the asynchronous, present counter output passes to the input of next. But drawback of this system is that it creates the counting delay, because when your first flip flop output reflected, then it will be clocked to the second flip flop. So there is a propagation delay during this process. So we have to remove this propagation delay by using the synchronous counter. Means same clock pulses pass to the clock input of all the flip flops. So that is the conditions. You have to clock all the flip flops same time. The clock signal produced by all the flip flops are the same as each other. So you have to given all the flip flops same. Below is the diagram of 2-bit synchronous counter. So what will happen? We will also see in logic diagram. You can see here. These are the clock signals, and these will be given to both the clock pulse at the same time. And now you are providing J and K high logic, and again output of this is the J and K high logic. So now what will happen here? Okay, there is a certain pattern which we have to follow. So you have to clock both the signals, but there is again a delay. You can see here, this is the high J and K. This given to this one, and this high output is again given here, and output of this one is given here, and then your third flip flop will be. So for making a proper counting purpose, we have to done the certain arrangement, and which we have to seen in our previous diagram. So this is the signal diagram. You can see here, this is the clock signals. Your first flip flop will be activated, and then again there is a negative edge triggering. Your second flip flop will be activated. And when these will be activated until your again negative edge triggering of first flip flop will not receive, your third flip flop will be activated. So this is the way in which our counter flip flop will be working, and we can count it by 0001. So this is the basically when both the flip flops are reset, you have 00. When first negative edge passes, flip flop will be toggled, and output of this flip flop will be changed from 0 to 1. So when first negative clock edge is passed, output of flip flop is 10. Negative clock edge, what will happen there? First flip flop will be again toggle, and output of this flip flop will change from 1 to 0. So this will in negative clock pulses, in second negative clock pulses is passed, the output of first flip flop will be 1. So there is again a 1, and that one is a 0, so it is called as a 0 and 1. Now what will happen when the third negative clock pulses? When third negative, so first flip flop will again toggle, and it will be at 0, so it will again switch to the 1. And at this instant, both the inputs and clock inputs set to 0. So here is the when both the inputs are 1 1, and after that output will remain the same as before. So there is a condition 0 0 0 1 1 0 and 1 1. Now you can see here fourth negative clock pulses. First flip flop toggle from 1 to 0, and at this instant the input and clock input of the second flip flop set to 1. So that is again output will change from 1 0 to 0 0. So that at the fourth negative clock pulse, both the flip flops will be reset. Now we will see again the asynchronous counter, as we have to see 2-bit asynchronous counter in this part. So we can see here. Now what will happen? 2-bit asynchronous. So what do you mean by 2-bit asynchronous? Same thing is here. Output of one flip flop is connected to the input of clock signal of second flip flop. Okay, output of first flip flop will be connected to the input clock pulse of second flip flop. So this type of counter is called as a asynchronous counter, as we have to already seen in here. So we will see in this diagram, we have given the signals high, and output of first is applied to the clock signal of our second flip flop. So you can see here, this is the at the negative edge trigger, flop plus first will be activated. At the negative edge trigger clock signal, second Q1 and flip flop will be activated, and it will goes through this one. So that will be interconnected, and after negative edge triggering of first flip flop, your second flip flop will be activated. So this is the same sequence will be follow 0 0 0 1 1 0 and 1 1. So actually there is basically a delay, because when Q0 output executed and it will be given to the clock signal of Q1, then it will be executed. So these delay will be added in our asynchronous flip flop. And if you want to clear all the connected flip flops together, and if you want to reset all the flip flop, you can give them the clear command. Now 2-bit ripple factor includes, so how many states are there? There are 4 states. Okay, if we are using the 2-bit ripple counter, means there is a 2 flip flops, so number of states will be 4. If there are 3 flip flops, then number of states will be 2 to the power 3, that is equal to 8. So that is a simple logic, how many number of flip flops we have to require. So that is basically 2n states. Okay, if we have 2p, so according to 2 to the power n states, according to that, where n is the number of flip flops. Up now, if we are using the 4 flip flops, so how many number of states are there? There is 16. Suppose we want make a decade counter. Okay, means you want to counting up to the 0 to 9. So now what will happen there? Okay, So we have to, how we can design a asynchronous decade counter, because if we are using the 3 bits, you have a number of states will be 8. If you are using the 4 bits, so what will happens here? 4 flip flops, so your number of state will be 16. Okay, 0 to 15. But now what will happen? You have to design only the decade counter up to the 10. You don't want to include the 11, 12, 13. So now what will happen, and how you can design such type of decade counter? So here is the question. You have again, see, you have a 4 flip flops. Okay, and again, since it is a asynchronous flip flop, so what will happen here? You will given the high input to the J and K. Okay, so what will, and output of first flip flop is applied to the input clock signal of second, and same thing is happened repeatedly. So you can design. So after counting one by one, as we have to see, take a sample of 2 flip flops. So now what will happen? 0 0 0 1 1 0 and 1 1. So now what will happen? Since it is a 4 flip flops, your counting will be 0 to 15. But after 10th, okay, you after counting 0 to 9, you want it will not exceed to the higher number, it have to the close. So now what you have to give us? 1010. Okay, your last counting is 1010. So you have to provide 1010 means Q3 and Q1. These are the 2 points which you have to reset. Okay, because you have to given the 0 and 0, so it will be given to the this NAND gate, and same command is given to the flip flop, so that all flip flops will be reset or at the 0 0 level. So this is the condition. After counting the 10, what will happen? That is a natural process, one by one all flip flops are setting, but after 10, what will happen? It will be reset to the all the flip flops, and your counting will be stopped at that particular time. In this way, we can design a decade counter. That is the sequence 0 0 0 0 0 1. So 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 1. So this is a 10 decades counter. And following these decade counter, you have to apply the AND gate operations between two zero zeros value. Now asynchronous up and down. Now you want to design your counter up and down. So now what happens? In particular applications, counter must be capable of counting to both the up counting and down counting. So that is basically depend, and circuitry diagram is given. You can see in this diagram, you can see there is a NAND output, and it will be applied to the clock signals. This is the asynchronous counter. One is given to the both the inputs J and K. Your output is feedback to the clock signal of next flip flop. But at the same time, you have two options. What type of options? Either you have to count upward or you have to count downward. And according to that signals, what type of signals we have applied to the up and down, we can work out for these 3 flip flops. That is the basically clock signal. Clock signal. There is again a delay. Okay. Now we will again switch to the synchronous, because we have to design a synchronous decade counter. Okay, there is again an option for designing a synchronous decade counter. So first of all, we slightly revise the synchronous counter. Okay, so that is again a 3-bit synchronous counter. Means all the flip flops are clocked at the same time. So that is the thing you can see in this diagram. You can see this way. That is the synchronous counter. We have to apply the clock pulses at the same time. Since in this clock pulses, you can know there is a 3 flip flops. So that is our ordinary flip flop. 0 0 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1. So according to that, same process here, but there is also a delay because all the flip flops are activated in parallel. So the major disadvantage of this flip flop is delay. That is included the delay part. What type of delay we have receiving from execution of flip flop from input to output? You can see again negative is triggering, it will be activated. Negative is triggering, or flip flop will be activated. So that is the same pattern in which our flip flops are working. Now we have to design the synchronous decade counter. Okay, again you have to know decade counter 0 to 9. After 0 to 9, our counter will be again work out in 0 to 9 process. Okay, and now you have to design for a decade counter. So what is the basic purpose? There is a last stage is 1010. Okay, you can see here. This is the AND gate. You can see on behalf we have apply high signal. Output of flip flop is applied to the again input of second flip flop, and same process is repeated. So Q0, Q1, Q2 and Q3. So 1010. So you have to 10. So here is a Q1 and output of the Q0 that will be applied to the Q3, and after passing through the Q3, what will happen? Output of Q3 and output of that is basically this one, and both are given to the OR gate. You can see here what will happen. You have to reset after 1010. You have to reset your flip flop. The process is same. Q0 ties on E clock pulses. Q1 alters on next clock pulse every time. Okay, and Q2 alters on the next clock pulse every time when Q0 Q1 is worked. This is the tabular format of your, and after 9 you have to reset. This is the diagram. One zero zero one. You have to given the command. What type of commanding you have to given? All things are connected to feedback path, but still there is a some propagation delay. Now asynchronous up and down counters. Up and down counters, we will complete synchronous tabular form and so we can see in our tabular form how we can explain it better form here. You can see this diagram properly. This is up and down counters. You have two options of signaling up and down. These are the gates. These again are connected to the clock signals. Instead of clock signals, it is connected to the 1 and 2. Since it is a synchronous counter, so all the clock signals are given at the same time. So you can see here all the clock signals we have to given at the same time. It is the up and down signals command which you have to provide to this one. According to that, it will activate it. So either you have to given the up command as either you have to given down command as well. According to these OR gate, both of these only one is exit or both are exit. So only one will be activated. So this will again reflect to the input of JK flip. So there is again addition of some propagation delay. Okay. So same thing is here. Initially both are at 000. So initial level पे Q01 for the up series state of Q1 change from next clock pulse. At the Q00 for the next series when the state of Q1 changes on the next clock pulse. So that is a different one by one stage will be changes. Now this is a sequence of synchronous decade counter. So what about the decade? 0 to 9. After that it have to reset on the 0000. That is again synchronous. Okay. So what will happen in synchronous? Same clock pulse applied. Okay, and output is taken as this way. That is the basic pattern. So either up signal may be high or down high. According to that signaling, our shifting. Okay, so our shifting of bits will happens in shift registers or counters, and according to that, our counting will be started. There is all the description which I have told to you. You can see what is the most directional counter. So that is basically bi-directional counter chips can be made to change count either it so bi-directional because it can count either up counting or it can be counting the down counting. So this can be achieved by using an additional input pin which determines the direction of count. So either up or down, and timing diagram gives us the so we can see here also different things. So once again I will summarize you. Basically, we have seen the main types of counters. So first of all, if we are talking about the counters, so that is made of shift registers, and the basic working principle of shift register is counter. So according to that, you have divided your counter in two parts: asynchronous counters and synchronous counters. So in synchronous counter, clock signals will be given at the same time, but output of one flip flop is connected to the clock signal of second flip flop. So there may be certain delay, propagation delay, due to which our signals will not we can retrieve at the same time. Now what will happen in other parts if we are talking that is a synchronous, and if you are talking at the about the non-synchronous means you have not given the clock pulses at the same time. You have to provide the output of previous flip flop to the another flip flop. So this condition is not very good because there is also a delay because second flip flop will be clocked when first flip flop will be completed and its output will be reflected. So this is again a disadvantage of that particular system. And we have some objective questions which we have to discuss. What is the register? Where we are using the purpose of using the register? You have know very well. T flip flop, what will happen in T flip flop? Yeah, how we can design a T flip flop? Either connecting both the signals. Now you can see what is the role of SR flip flop. What is this input condition which will not exist in SR flip flop? So both one is invalid state. So you can also see in our what about the race around condition and these conditions how we can remove. So basically, if we are talking about the race around conditions, so that is generated in the JK flip flop. Toggling conditions, so where would be the toggling conditions exist? So that is basically the based on the T type flip flop as is the name. So this is the basic type of other flip flops which we can. And how many states if you are talking about the if you are using the different ripple counters. So if you have four flip flops, if you have designed to a mod 64 counter, so what how many flip flops you have to require, so you can calculate by using a formula for this one. So this is the number of flip flops required for mod 16. So this is basically how many number of flip flops you have to require. At last we want to told you about the type of registers which have to access only leftmost rightmost side. So that is basically serial in. So how you can decide how your working processor will decide that which type of registers you have to required for that particular working. Minimum number of flip flops, if you want to design a mod 10, so you have to decide how many number of flip flops you have to require. So at last we will see that now what is the JK flip flop and what type of condition in JK flip flop we are facing. So in JK flip flop there is a rest around conditions. So generally to avoid this rest around conditions, we generally sometimes use the D type flip flop or T type flip flop. So that is basically these two flip flops are more easy, and it is very useful for in our designing a counter. So how we can design a counter? So that is basically if we are working on the counter. So this is basically a counting purpose. Either you want to count upward or you want to count the downward process. So this method we can opt in use. So where we are opting the counter, in many applications we have to require counting the something. So at that, according to clock signals, if you are counting the number of clock signals, we can also count the basically decimal number. So this is a process process through which we can apply in our different applications. So generally there are again so many types of classifications of our counters, also Johnson counters. So basically these counters are nothing else, that is basically depend on the that counter is asynchronous counter or synchronous counter. So according to synchronous and asynchronous counter, that will be decided that which type of our counters are working in which application. So that is basically if we are talking in both the counters, there is certain amount of propagation delay in one type of counter. If you are talking about the asynchronous counter, since clock due to clock signals are we are not providing clock signals at the same time, so there is a delay add in our clock signals, and if our clock signals is delayed, our output will be also delayed according to that. Okay, but if we are talking about the synchronous, means we have given the clock pulses at the same time, but what will happen here? One flip flop output is feedback to the input of another flip flop, means another flip flop is working when first flip flop output will exist at their output terminal, and when these output will be applied to as a clock signal to our second flip flop, and after that these second flip flop will be work out. So this is the basically two major types of classification, and by using these we can also design our decade counters. So if you are talking about the decade counter or up and down counters, so it is a options ki which type of counting you want to require, up counting or down counting. So these up and down counter may also be classified in two types: asynchronous and synchronous counters. So everything is divided in two parts. Which type of counters you have to more suitable if we are again working, suppose we have to counting counter in after up and down, after then decade counter, so that decade counter is also designed as a asynchronous and synchronous. So there are we have two options what type of counter we want to design, either synchronous or asynchronous, but delay it also added in both the counters. So that is basically a part in which we have to cover that how we design a counter. So in next we will discuss upon the some problems of our counters and how we can make a K map for designing a counter. So there is again a different process for applying it in counters. So now okay, thank you very much.